All right, so now we have 3x to the 3/2 power is equal to 375. This was a mistake that we made on our quiz, and I don't want us to make it again. Immediately, people started going, all right, I'm going to go 2/3, I'm going to go 2/3, and then you ended up getting a weird decimal, and that's because mistakes have been made. Okay, this is not what you were supposed to do there. Let me erase that. It's bad. What we need to do first, okay, I see this 3 chilling out right here. We need to divide each side by 3. And so, dividing this side by 3, we're going to get x raised to the 3/2 power is 375 divided by 3 is 125. Now we're ready to say, all right, raised to the reciprocal power, 2/3. Then x is 125 to the 2/3. Now when you're solving, you can go ahead and type that into your calculator because you've shown me your work how to solve. And so we're going to go in parentheses. I always like to use parentheses for my base just in case something's negative. Caret in parentheses 2 divided by 3, close my parentheses, and we're getting 25 here. Okay, well we need to check. So I need to plug 25 back into the original problem. I need to know, is this extraneous or not? So we'll go 3 in parentheses, 25, close the parentheses, caret, parentheses, 3 divided by 2. Now if this is not extraneous, when I hit enter we should be getting 375, and we do. So this is not extraneous. Now over here we have the x plus 3 raised to the 5/2 power minus 2 is equal to 30. So first we need to move the 2. We'll get x plus 3 raised to the 5/2 is equal to 32. Now we are indeed ready to raise each side to the reciprocal power. This plus 3 is inside the parentheses as opposed to this 3 which was not. Okay? This we had to divide by 3 first because there were no parentheses right there. So let me just erase that, what I put, because I don't like that. But over here, the 3 on the inside of the parentheses, we're ready to do the reciprocal. Reciprocal of 5/2 is 2/5. So we raise each side to the 2/5 power. These are going to cancel. We'll get x plus 3 is 32 raised to the 2/5 power. Parentheses 32, caret, parentheses 2/5. We hit enter, and we get a 4 there. Now to solve for x, we need to subtract 3 from both sides, and x is equal to 1. Okay, well, we need to check, so I need to plug 1 back into my original equation. So we'll do parentheses 1 plus 3, parentheses. Now we have to the 5/2 power, caret, 5 divided by 2, close parentheses, and then we need to subtract 2. If this is not extraneous, our answer should be 30, and it is. Okay, last two we have for solving. We have x plus 1 equals 7x plus 15. We need to get rid of this radical here. So I need to square this side. And if I square that side, let's square this side. Now, x plus 1 squared, I'm going to write that kind of over here, and then I'm going to end up erasing that work. X plus 1 squared, remember, is x plus 1 times x plus 1. Expanding this, we get x squared plus x plus 1. Combine your like terms, x squared plus 2x plus 1. So the left-hand side of the equation becomes x squared plus 2x plus 1. Over here, the square root and the square, we're just left with 7x plus 15. Now this is a quadratic equation. And so any quadratics, you need to get 0 on one side. So I'm going to move the 7x and the 15 over here. I want the x squared to be positive, so that's why I'm moving these over here. I'm going to subtract 7x from 2x. We're going to have 2x minus 7x is negative 5x. And 15, I'm going to subtract from each side. 1 minus 15 is negative 14. and now we're equal to 0 and we're good to go. Factoring a quadratic trinomial, x, because x times x is x squared, and then factors of negative 14 that add up to negative 5. And so one of the numbers is going to have to be positive, one's going to have to be negative. Because the 5 is negative here, the larger number needs to be negative. So 1 and negative 14 do not work. Those combine to give me negative 13, not negative 5. No bueno. 2 and negative 7. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, and 2 plus negative 7 is negative 5. So we're going to go plus 2 and minus 7. Therefore, x plus 2 is equal to 0, or the x minus 7 is equal to 0. And so x equals negative 2, or x is equal to positive 7. Now we're going to have to check. And checking these just requires just a little bit more work. Not a whole lot more. You need to plug negative 2 in every place you see x. So your original equation was x plus 1 equals the square root of 7x plus 15. So negative 2 is going to get substituted for that x. Here's my check over here. I'm just going to write a little bit of work down for the check. We'll have negative 2 plus 1 is equal to the square root of 7 times negative 2 plus 15. Well, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, and immediately I'm kind of like, Now here we got negative 14 plus 15. Negative 14 plus 15 is the square root of positive 1, and negative 1 does not equal positive 1. So x equals negative 2 is an extraneous solution, and I'm going to cross that out. Now we're going to check x equals 7. So plug 7 into x. 7 plus 1, does that equal the square root of 7 times 7 plus 15? Well, 7 plus 1 is 8. Does that equal the square root? 7 times 7 is 49 plus 15. Does 8 equal the square root of 49 and 15 equals 64? And yes, the square root of 64 is 8. And so this x equals 7 is the only solution. Now, unfortunately for me, I have to erase all my nice work so that we can do our last solving problem here. Okay, so for number 15, we have x equals the square root of 2x plus 3. Again, we're ready to square both sides. So I'm going to square the x equals, and then I'm going to square the square root of 2x plus 3. X to the second power is, well, that's kind of boring. X to the second power equals, and then 2x, square root of 2x plus 3 squared, just 2x plus 3. Now again, quadratic, and I know it's quadratic because of the x squared. I need to move these two over to the positive x squared side. So we'll go x squared, subtract 2x, subtract the 3 is equal to 0. Because again, take away 2x here, that's gone. Take away 3 from here, that's gone. And then we have the positive x squared minus 2x and the minus 3. So once again, we have to factor. Factors of negative 3 that add up to negative 2. Well, once again, the middle number is negative, so the larger of the two numbers will have to be negative. So 1 and negative 3 are our only options here. Okay, and that does make, when you add those together, it makes a negative 2. So plus 1 minus 3. So we'll have x plus 1 equals 0 from right here. X minus 3 equals 0 from right here. Subtract 1, x is equal to negative 1. Add 3, x is equal to 3. Now we need to do our check. I'll have to do the check down here. Plugging in negative 1, immediately I'm a little leery because I have a square root equaling a negative number. This is negative 1. Does that equal, this is negative 2. plus 3. Does negative 1 equal the square root of 1? No. Negative 1 does not equal 1. And so this is extraneous. And then with 3, plug in. Does 3 equal the square root of 2 times 3 plus 3? Well, does 3 equal the square root of 6 plus 3? Yeah, 3 equals the square root of 9 because 3 is 3. And so this is your only solution. X equals 3. All right. So our last one on this page, describe how to obtain the graph of G from the graph of F. These are your shifts, okay? So some rules that you have to remember, and I'll write them down here. Remember, if you add inside, okay, that is a shift to the left. If you subtract inside, that's going to be a shift to the right. When you add on the outside, that is a shift up. When you subtract outside, that is a shift down. So here, the graph of f of x is just the square root of x. This is the square root of x plus 3. I see that I'm adding 3 on the inside, so I know I'm shifting left. So I'll say g of x is the graph of f of x shifted left 3 units. Over here, 17, f of x is just the cube root of x. G of x is negative the cube root of x minus 4 plus 2. So there's a couple shifts going on, and this negative out here. That minus means it's a reflection, okay? And it's a vertical reflection. So g of x is the graph of f of x reflected over the x-axis and shifted minus 4 on the inside means to the right 4 units. Add 2 on the outside means shifted up 2 units. Done. So these you absolutely need to know, and also know that a negative on the outside is a reflection over the x-axis. That's a vertical reflection. Okay. So we'll do one more part to this video, and then we'll be done.